Hello, everybody. Okay, I want to tell you all a wonderful story about a wonderful person that I had the privilege and the pleasure of working with in these ad media buying campaigns. And his name is Daniel Carpin. And Daniel is a wonderful person, very, very, very forthright, very open, doesn't mess about with his words. If he tells you, if he thinks that something is crap, he basically comes out and says it. Now, all of the the customers there that Jeff and Professor Christian and some of the other people, Nihal, Angela, all of those people found his style very confrontational. But what they did was they went away, they reflected, and they said, you know what? Daniel has made us think. Didn't like it. Well, it wasn't very nice to hear, that your advertising campaign is a little bit bland or boring or dull or whatever. But I do appreciate his comments. And I did write them all down. I went away and I reflected on them. And you know what? I think the man is absolutely right. So let's give it a shot. I think he's absolutely right. It's the buying public that decide and not us. Because up to that point, the ads were they were doing okay. They were doing okay. Now, to put this in a full story context, there, what I did was I met Daniel quite a few years before. So we went to a cafe there together. We had an interview, and at that time, Daniel wasn't interested. And Daniel went off and he went to work for one of the big, I think it was Mackenzie Cooper or something like that. He went off to work with one of the other much larger companies. But there, what I showed him at this time was this. I'm going to show it to you now. I'll share my screen with you. And this was from quite a few years ago. I'll show you this one here. This was one of the ads there that I did. And I made this basically go viral. And we brought it to 4 million views. And then that was just the pinnacle of the iceberg. And then what we did there was we sold it. We sold it there to another company. So there, it was just basically us showing how we could do this. I always remember sitting there in that class many years ago, trying to learn all of this stuff. And the person, our teacher, our mentor, our coach, his name is also Paul, and Paul Murphy, and he's also from Ireland. And I remember him telling us to launch a Facebook awareness campaign and then a YouTube. This is on YouTube awareness campaign, da da da, all of these things. And at that time, I didn't know what an awareness campaign was. I knew it was one of the options, but I didn't realize the power and the reach that it had. So Paul asked us all of the people in the group. There was me, there was Stu, there was Rachel, there was a whole group of people. And he told us all to do this and to launch it over a weekend. He gave us some very, very, very important insights, which again, we share with you. I share it with you, Joe shares it with you, Akila shares it with you inside the course. And that's to launch your ad a few minutes after midnight. So we launched our ads a few minutes after midnight. And sure enough, the things rocketed, because what we did was we put down a $20 ad budget over the weekend. So $5 on the Thursday, the Friday, the Saturday, and the Sunday. $20. It actually took a little bit more, I think 22, 23. But what Paul asked us to do was to go away and to talk about in front of the camera, just sit down in front of the camera, no effects, no nothing, just us talking for 2.5 minutes about our favorite topic. Maybe it's the favorite restaurant there that we just been to. Maybe it was the favorite movie. And then that just sparked an idea in me. And I just thought to myself, hold on a second. Right. My favorite movie movie, there are 9 of them. There of all time is Star Wars. If anybody has watched any of my videos, then they'll see it's always about Star Wars. Star Wars was the very, 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 very first movie that my sister and I saw in the late 1970s in Ireland. It was our first time at a movie theatre, and it was absolutely spellbinding. And to see this movie, we were supposed to see a different one, Sinbad and the Ragged Tiger. And what happened was they got the billings mixed up. Now, we were small children. We were supposed to go to school the next day. And as luck would have it, they played Star Wars: A New Hope in place of that other movie that we were supposed to see. And we were thinking, what's this about? Science fiction, da 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 da, oh, something, something, something. We went to it. And oh my goodness, there, my life and let's say my hobbies and the toys that I got were transformed. And I spoke about this passionately for 2.5 minutes. I sat there, I had a background, and I took it on, I put it onto to a camera. I recorded it on Zoom. I put it up there, and then we met there the next week on Monday, and we sat down there, and Paul went around the group and he said, okay, Stu, how did you do with your video? Yeah, I did okay. There I got, what was it, 1,100 views. And wow, everybody thought, wow, very good. Went to Rachel. Rachel, how many views did you get? There, Rachel got 3,000 views. And then I thought to myself, wow. And I'm feeling at this point really, really, really stupid. And he goes around all of the room. He ran to Akeisha and he went around all of the people. And he came to me last, and I was just sitting there thinking, oh, no, don't ask me. Don't ask me. Maybe he's going to run out of time. Right then, Paul, how many views did you get? And let's see how we can help you. And I sort of stuttered and stammered into the microphone. I said, 37.5 views, Paul. And he said, what? He said, say that again. I felt mortified. I felt embarrassed. I felt ashamed. 37, and I think it says a half. Yeah, I can just see there the figures. I'm not wearing my glasses. I should have been wearing my glasses. It says 37.5 something views. He said, can you share your screen with us, Paul, there? Because I cannot understand how somebody can get a half a view on YouTube. So I said, sure, no problems. I shared the screen with him. I said, I can't make out the other character. I'm not wearing my glasses. He said, Paul, it says 37.5K. In other words, my video had done the best of all. It had done 37,500 views. Just me speaking honestly, openly, passionately about something there that was later to turn into this brand. And this is what I'm trying to get across to all of you. You know, we don't know when one of our videos, like for example, this one, how to change basic English into business English, the one there that I sold there, but we don't know whenever these channels are going to take off. But the one thing I want to impress upon you is Daniel's willingness to try. And he was not one for beating around the bush. Daniel was an experienced salesperson. He was an experienced person there that came from a very, very, very strong sales background, and he was a true professional. He tested and he tested and he tested. And he would come to me and he would say, look, Paul, look there, what about this? What about that? What about the other thing? I can show you there one of the ones there that we did come across. They're really, really, really successful. Let me just show you that without the screen. There you see there, for example, a real life quote from a real life coach from South Carolina in the United States. He's now dead, but the man was a visionary. And this was an incredible ad, an incredible creative there that we used inside this campaign. Okay, so it just goes to show you. Now, what happened was there Daniel wasn't interested, and then Daniel came back to me during the pandemic times. So this is around about the beginning of 2020. And Daniel said, look, I've been let go there by the company there that I was working with. We had, let's say, a difference of of opinion. Yeah, that's fair enough. And he said, there is that job still available. So the one there that I was talking to him quite a few years previous to that about. I said, yes, 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 like, let's do it there. Let's give you an apprenticeship there. And then I turned it into employment for him. And we started to work on these ad campaigns. And the man is a visionary. He really gets deep inside the mind of the prospect. And these are two very, 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 very nice examples there. And I've got some screens ready to show you. You'll see why this makes sense in a moment. So Daniel remembers they're outside some of these restaurants in England. Daniel comes from England. There he comes from the East End of London, so he speaks English with a particular strong London accent. So anyway, he comes along and he remembers these ad campaigns there that they were done on the side of the restaurant walls, and they looked like phone conversations. Now, what we did was then we using our creative powers, we were very confrontational. And the client did not like this, did not like this, did not like our style of advertising. They're the client, two lovely, lovely people, Angela Gallagher from Ireland and Nihal Patel from Pakistan. And then these people didn't like our style of advertising, didn't like it. But we cut to the bone. We cut to the bone and we got it very, very, very okay. Now, you would have to really get inside the mind of these people, because what these people were doing was they were faced with a huge problem. They're a vehicle delivery company. And what their job is to do is to pick up vehicles, and then they have to deliver them. They might have to deliver them to Scotland, all the way in the north of the United Kingdom. They might have to deliver them to Wales. They might have to deliver them somewhere to the north of England. It's a big country. It's a big, let's say, conglomeration of islands: Scotland, Wales, and England. And these people wanted to hire more delivery drivers, but they wanted to hire better delivery drivers, and they were facing a big problem. And our job is to solve problems as media buyers. So their problem was that they had been contracted to deliver a vehicle to this actress. She's a famous actress, a famous singer, a famous performer, and her name is Kylie Minogue. Now, Kylie Minogue, in case you don't know, Patrick probably won't know, but Kylie Minogue is a famous singer there, Patrick, and she comes from Australia, from the land of Down Under. Now, at that time, she was doing a television production called The Voice. And this is where you've got four famous people. There was Ricky, there was Sir Tom Jones from Wales, there was Kylie Minogue, and there was somebody else, will.i.am. And these people sit with their back to you, then they come out, people perform, and if they're good enough, one or more of these very famous celebrities might turn. It might be Kylie, it might be Sir Tom, it might be somebody else. Anyway, they're as part of her, let's call it, bonus packages. Kylie acquired a pink Lamborghini. A pink Lamborghini. So anyway, these people, they're not going to be very happy with me telling this, but this is what happened. They were contracted with delivering a pink Lamborghini, and they had to deliver it here to the Portsmouth docks. This is Portsmouth. This is a city in the south of England. Okay, so they had to deliver it here from London. So this is from the North Circular Road. This is where they were based. And then what happens is that they take delivery of it. They have to sign for it, and then they give it to their most trusted, their most experienced employee. I don't know if I'm allowed to say his name, probably shouldn't, because I'll get in trouble for that. Anyway, they give it to their most trusted, most experienced employee, and he has to take this vehicle home and he has to put this vehicle in a secure location. So they check out all of their delivery drivers that they've got safe access to garages or secure parking facilities, let's say, there for this, because obviously this is a state-of-the-art super machine. Yeah. Like the specification on it was incredible. And what happened was, of course, full disclosure, I would probably do the same. If you get delivery of a supercar, let's not call it a car, but let's call it a supercar, then of course you're going to want to take it out and show it off. Yeah, because you've got it for 24 hours, and then the next morning it's only a 2-hour drive to these docks from the north of London all the way to the very south of England. Now, full disclosure, I have problems with that. Right, I have problems with that because this is the problems I have. Once upon a time, I was contracted to do a series of ads, to do a series of media buying ads for the BBC in the MENA region. So that's the Middle East and North Africa. So this was all about building a dhow, DHOW, which is the type of ship that is used to carry cargo in the Middle East. So I had to do the campaign for that. And they told me, the agent told me, now remember, I live in Poland, I come from Ireland, I have a basic idea of geography, I know where London is, and I thought I knew where this place was. I thought what they were saying to me was Portsmouth. What they were actually saying to me was, I'll zoom out. If will it zoom out? Come on. I'm pressing zoom out. Oh, dear, oh dear, not this place. Right, sorry. I'll just show you it on the map. And what they were showing me was, oh, are you going to show me? No, it's not going to show me. Yeah, this is where I was going. So if you can see the red circle there, Plymouth is in the very, very, very southwest. Well, it's almost in the very southwest of England. And I was flying into London late at night. And then I thought to myself, how am I going to get from here to there? Is there a train? No. Is there a plane? No. Right. So what I had to do was I had to get a bus. I had to get a coach all the way to Plymouth. And this is the problem with me not knowing geography very, very well. But anyway, this person was supposed to deliver this car to Portsmouth. Okay, Portsmouth. And this is the problem that they were dealing with. Okay. So if you look at it there, maps, this is where I currently am. This is Poznan there. This is in Poland. And if you look at the map of the UK, so big place. And basically I just got it very, very, very wrong. Okay. But anyway, this person has got this vehicle and he takes it out to, let's say, show and to impress his friends. Hey, I've got a pink Lamborghini. And what happened was they were doing, let's say, tricks, and they wrapped it around a telegraph post, a pole, in the center of London. So basically, they mangled this poor woman's car. And let's say, that's a problem. So what they had to do was they had to, obviously their insurance, etc., there kicks in and everything is taken care of. And their Kylie Minogue did get her car, a replacement car, successfully delivered to her. So this is a problem. So what we had to do was we had to go out and we had to launch an advertising campaign to attract, let's say, a more responsible type of driver. So the niche focus was decided there. What we decided on was an avatar. Remember, the avatar is a very, very, very important part of the media buying process. And that's something there that Daniel identified with very, very quickly. And these are people that are normally retired people, usually men. And so they would be 65 or over. Now, Daniel there has got two elderly parents, mother and the father. And then Daniel thought, well, hold on a second. What does my mother always think about my father? Of course, she loves him, da 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 da. But what does she think about him? What drives her crazy about him? Let's say in a bad way. And then they thought about the pain points. So we wrote them down. And the pain points were basically that, and this is where the ad campaign came in, there that the person is sitting there and the person is quite bored. The person, the mother, so the wife, Daniel's mother, this person's wife, were turning into, they were becoming sick and tired, to use his words. They were becoming sick and tired of turning into a tea making machine, coffee making machine, or a sandwich making machine, whilst their husband sat there in front of daytime television. So what we did was we thought about a particular example from daytime television, and this is Homes Under the Hammer. At that time, it was presented by this person called David Dickinson, and David Dickinson looked like he had been under a sun lamp, let's say, for a few years too long. And let me just see if I can show you a picture of David Dickinson. David Dickinson. This is him. And Dickinson, yeah. So he presented these programs, and the man was, wow, he had such an incredible suntan. It was unbelievable. But this is a person there that presented Homes Under the Hammer. So the worst, like the epitome of daytime television. You would have Robert Kilroy Silk, you would have somebody else, you would have somebody else, you would have somebody else. Don't Get Done, Get Dumb, all of these brain dead programs. But anyway, they were watched by people like Daniel's dad and lots of other dads out there who were retired and had nothing else to do. And then Daniel said, well, why don't we use a campaign that speaks directly to the women? In other words, to people like Daniel's mother, the wives of these people who are sick and tired of tending to their retired husbands' every whim. And he got right inside it and produced a very, very controversial campaign. Now, this was very successful, but we were asked, of course, to tone it down. And hey, did you catch yesterday's repeat edition? So it wasn't bad enough that it was this Homes Under the Hammer, but it was a repeat edition. Yeah, and they've got channels in the UK where they show everything 1 hour later in case you missed it. In case you missed this boring TV, then you could like do a catch up. So we did this like a mobile phone conversation. And this is where we had to change things. So originally what we had, and this was very, very, very successful. No, I was bombing up the M6. The M6 is a big motorway in the UK. So let me just show you where it is. M6. Yep. So it's huge. Yeah, it's huge. If I can zoom out properly, I'll be able to show you how big it is. Yeah. So they're bombing up the M6. So you see this one here. So it's going like boom all the way through, all the way up there. So this man was bombing up. In other words, what you've done is there you've got this high performance vehicle and you're sitting there and you've got your foot on that gas pedal. And I think we originally wrote 86 miles an hour because in the United Kingdom they measure speed not in kilometers per hour but in miles per hour. So just like in the United States. Okay. So I was bombing up this, and we were told, of course, was successful. It was successful. People, success leaves clues. And this is what we were trying to get across. And then we produced like an expletive, let's say a rude word. And of course, we were told to change that. And work for da da da. Then you drop the name of the company. And then there you're basically turning this around. We had other ads where the people, the men, were standing out, looking out the window, just looking out the window onto the street in front of their house or their apartment. And they were just like sort of looking, wishing, almost dreaming about a better life, a life there where they could earn a part-time income there by delivering these vehicles off to their drop-off points. And this is what you see there. Daniel was very, very, very good at. Now, Daniel worked with me then during the pandemic times, but then as it got to the end of the pandemic times and we were actually able to meet again, for those 3 years, let's say, the only time that we met was on a Zoom camera. So just like this. And I would have like daily morning meetings with Daniel, and Daniel would present there these insights that he had for this campaign, for that campaign, for Jeff's campaign, for Christian's campaign, for everything. And his insights were, wow, they were incredible. They were mind-blowing. And most importantly, they were successful. Now, what made him successful was the fact that he was willing to try and fail, try and fail, try and fail. But also because of the fact that he didn't take any crap from the clients. Basically, what he was doing was he was putting it in very, very, very direct language what you have to do, because it's not them that are deciding whether or not they're going to do business with Jeff's company, with Nihal's company, Angela's company, they're with Professor Christian, with Jane, or with Leanne, or with whoever. It's the buying public that are sitting there skimming, scanning, and scrolling on YouTube or on Facebook or on Instagram or whatever. And then if we get this person to just stop skimming for the fraction of a millisecond because we've got like something really cool there to show them. Confrontational quote, really yellow background, but look at the way that skinny has got the background to it. That's what drew the people in. It's eye-catching. And these mobile phone conversations, they're again eye-catching. The people looking out the window, eye-catching. All of these things were eye-catching compared to what they were coming at with just a car driving up motorway and staying within the speed limit. It's a little bit boring. It's a little bit boring. And we definitely did not do boring. Okay? And as I said, the customers were not happy, but they were happy with the results. So what happened then at the end of the pandemic times was that Daniel, through his own initiative, there worked out, okay, well, hold on a second. I fancy a bit of this for myself. And yeah, truth is, we've all done it. I've done it. That's how I got to be where I am. And he launched his own awareness ad campaign on his own initiative. He did it on his own. There's more than enough people on the internet there who just type in how to do a Facebook ad awareness campaign. Boom. Yeah, the man knew how to do it. And he went out there and he applied to a competitive vehicle delivery company in the south of England, in Bournemouth, there, because that's where his parents are retired to. And he thought to himself, yeah, well, you know what? I can go over there and I can do this for them. Now, I'm going to invite Daniel there to come along and to have a chat with us because he's a really, really, really clever person. And these next 2 weeks are the winter holidays in Poland. And Daniel has two sons who still live here. And they're, Patrick, you probably remember them. You played soccer with them many, many years ago. And then this would be really, really good for you to meet Daniel and then to get an insight into his mind. But as I said, Daniel, experienced person, lot of experience in sales. That was his background. And but an incredible wit. This is another word for humor. Incredible amount of sarcasm, an incredible amount of directness, but directness there that worked. And you see, I think all of us with an experience there in sales, in QA, have got this ability to be able to succeed. What we've just got to do is we've got to remember that we've got to go out there and we've got to take this by the horns, and then we've got to run with it. We've got to run with it. But take your own initiative. Don't wait for these opportunities. Just go out there and ask people, hey, can I do an apprenticeship for you for whatever length of time that you can afford? 2 weeks, whatever. I think 2 weeks minimum there, because it does take time there to launch a campaign. And then if I am successful, then you hire me. And if I'm not successful, then no problem. Sorry about that. All I ask is there that you put up a minimal amount of budget, $600, $1,000, but whatever there that you can work out that you can do for this. But do your research. Don't wait for it to be done for you. Because that was definitely the type of person there that Daniel is not. Very proactive person, not reactive. Because what he did was he just goes out there and he gets the people and arouses them. Yeah. Raises their spirit, whatever. He gets something there and he knows then what has been successful. But he also looks at a lot of things. The man was well read, and he would test and he would test and he would test again. And whenever he was finished, then he would always say, right, well, hold on a second there. We've got a meeting. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to test some more. I'm going to test some more. Test these statistics. And yeah, we fail a lot of the times, but whenever one of them came through, it was like a big, yay, punch the air moment. And after the pandemic ended, then it was like a chance there to meet, and then for Patrick there to play football or soccer with his kids, and then for us all to get a chance, because during the pandemic times, I don't even think that we met once. We met once in a store, in a supermarket store. They've got this chain of German food stores over here called Lidl, Lidl. And we met once, but at that time they were only letting in about 3, 4, 5, 6 people. And Daniel was at the checkout, so he was at the cash register, and he couldn't stay. He was like masked and, scarf, gloves, hat, everything on to protect him from the COVID. And I was the same, but I was further back. So I did see him one time in person during that period. But before that, the only time I saw him in person was whenever we were going through that ad there that got 4 million views at that time. This was like, what, 9 years ago? Wow. So it was an incredible eye-opening idea. I just told him about the mentorship there from my mentor. Again, his name is Paul Murphy, and there he's from Ireland, from the southeast of Ireland, from Wexford in Ireland. And what he did there was he took me through this and took me through from 37.5K, 37,500 views upwards. Okay. And you see, this is all what it's about, because remember, on YouTube, your videos will always grow exponentially. On anything else, they will not. So there, we got a chance to test and to use YouTube as a springboard there for other things. And at that time, you see, YouTube ads were incredibly cheap. Okay. So it does give you a lot of food for thought. And I hope that that's really helpful. But this is a person there who used his own initiative to go out there and to leave working for me. And then fair play to him. He was honest. He came along and he says, look, I've been accepted there. I launched this awareness ad. And I've been accepted there, and I'm going to leave to go back there to England, because as you know, my parents are getting a lot older, and then they need me there to be able to help to look after them. Okay, it's important. And I appreciated that, I respected that, and we're still in contact to this day. But the man is brilliant, a visionary in terms of the creative juices there that he could come out. I wish I could find out some more of these ads there. Probably Daniel has them there as well. But some of them were absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. All of them confrontational. But they worked. They worked. They worked. Many didn't, but some did. And whenever they worked big. They worked big. And people were able to sort of turn their heads to stop skimming, scanning, and scrolling and to actually make that click. And that click was what it was all about. And remember, whenever we were doing that, we were doing this all manually. We didn't have the tools like ChatGPT. That only came in there around about, what was it, November 2022. We didn't have all of those tools there to do this. So we just had the Google Drive, the Google Sheets, the Google Docs, and the access to the Facebook ads library, access there to the Google Trends, access to all of those things. But we had to do this all manually. Nowadays, there we've got no excuse not to be successful. You go out there and you start building a few of these videos and then showing people the campaigns that you're doing for them. And whenever you do the research, then the people are just sort of like looking, well, hey, hold on a second, this is a bit of a no-brainer. How do we prevent situations like that happening again? We give them more hoops to jump through. And this is what it was all about. Ready to turn them into happy dancers. Yeah, and they did the happy dance. That's what it was. Okay, so take this, but remember, it's all about you. It's all about you. Don't wait to be spoon-fed. Don't wait to be introduced to some of these people. Sure, we can write you letters of recommendation there whenever we see some things that are coming through. Like I had no problem in referring and writing letters of referral there for Daniel, etc. Not that he needed them, but if he did, I would have happily provided them. The same for all of you. But show me this creativity. Show it to me. And then let's go out there and let's put these strategies into action there, because we can get jobs, like as apprentices, both. And then what you have to do is, of course, take care of your health, make sure you're not sick. And then we go out there and we run with all of these campaigns. Yeah. And it doesn't matter if it's a pizza eating competition for Professor Christian. It doesn't matter if it's a confrontational type quiz for what menopausal archetype are you, for the menopausal women. It doesn't matter if it was something there more confrontational there for the stem cell research. It's all about the campaigns, people. Okay, it's all about the campaigns, and it's all about getting results for people. And whenever you can get results, then you know what? You're just constantly hired. Because remember, the other ability that we've got is to be able to position ourselves at the top of Google, page one. And then whenever people see your advert there, then they're thinking to themselves, hold on a second, right, well, these people know what they're talking about. Let's have a look. Let's see. And yeah, we're going to get a lot of people that will say, hate that campaign. But we're also going to get some people that will say, I love that campaign. I love that campaign. I love what you're doing. Yeah. And then they reach out to us and they say, hi, I'm Roland. I'm a dance coach. Da 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 da. Hi, I'm Jeff. I'm a business coach. Hi, I'm Professor Christian. Hi, I'm Leanne. I'm a legal services coach. Da 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 da. They're always going to reach out to you. And that's what we have to do. Okay. So I hope that video made sense. But remember, it's all about you. We can teach you these strategies. But what you've got to do is you've got to implement them. You've got to implement them. You've got to take the initiative. The information is there. And you've already got the information between your two ears. So make it happen, people. But don't sort of wait to be spoon-fed or to be introduced to somebody. Okay? Let your brilliance shine. And don't hide it under a rock. Be the, for example, there's one of these people in this band called Take That, and his name is Robbie Williams. And Robbie Williams just recognized there, hey, hold on a second, I've got brilliant talent. There, I can outperform the rest of my band members. So he went solo. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to teach you to be able to have this initiative, to be able to go out there and then do this for these people. Yeah. Put these campaigns together. But start showing some creativity, some initiative, you know, like what would happen if I were to do it for this, like Daniel loves cars. So this was a particular focus niche for him, for these vehicle deliveries. There other people love different things. Some people love rugby, some people love soccer, some people love judo, some people love something else. But it's all to do with what are your passions, what are your loves, what are your likes. And then following that passion, but following it relentlessly. And then just constantly creating, testing, reaching out to these people, reaching out. You know, Daniel reached out to a lot of people. And then one of them said yes. That's what you have to do. You know, as I say, every single video, every single day, 5 questions. How many outstanding offers? In other words, how many job applications have you sent today? How many rejections have you got? Have you challenged every single rejection, every single no, and asked them why not? You know, just like what I did there with that lady there, Karine. And then whenever she came to me and she said to me, well, she didn't say anything to me, but she hired somebody else for much more money. There, she hired somebody called Mache, and she wrote back to me accidentally, and she said, "Hello, Mache, I'd have the pleasure of hiring you for what was it for €15,000 per month." And I had come to her with a much lower price, much lower price. And then I thought to myself, hold on a second, right, take the initiative. So I wrote back to her and told her about our super duper VIP exclusive premium package, which was basically exactly the same package that I was proposing to her. But this time it had got almost a €15,000 per month price tag attached to it. And because she hadn't heard from Mache, because she emailed me by mistake, so then what I did was I took the contract there to build the media buying campaigns for these steel halls. This is what they're called. They're called these steel halls that they use to produce the supermarkets, the convenience stores over here in Poland. Okay. So a very nice contract, but again, it's all about taking the initiative, people. All about taking the initiative. If you don't take the initiative, and if you just sort of sit back there and think, okay, well, if this doesn't work out, then I'll do this. If this doesn't work out, then I'll do that. But rather, if you write to these people and say, hey, you know, I'm a full stack media buyer. I'm currently an apprentice. I'm learning all of the strategies, all of these systemizable strategies there that can help us together to build for you a premium Facebook ads campaign, YouTube ads campaign, TikTok ads campaign. We don't do Snapchat. We don't do LinkedIn. No. So we stick to the main ones. We stick to Meta, we stick to Google, and we stick to, if people want to, because it is quite cheap, TikTok, but we don't do any of the others. Okay. But if you do the strategies with them, remember, we'll always go back to the Facebook ads library. We will always go back to the Google Trends database there because they've just simply been around for so long. But success leaves clues, people. So start being creative. Start being, there's a show on Netflix and it's called Mad Men. And I really want you to watch that, Mad Men. And it's on Netflix and it's set during the late 1950s, the early 1960s in the United States. Okay. And it features these characters, Robert Sterling, there, Christina Hendricks, there, Don Draper, played by John Hamm, all of those ones there, like an all-star cast. And it is absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. And it really gets you inside the head of how these people did this manually all those years ago in the 1960s. They used a typewriter, they smoked thousands and thousands and thousands of cigarettes, but they basically got the job done. And it didn't matter if they were advertising a cigarette company, a tobacco company, if they're advertising a car company, if they were advertising something else. And it's the same these days. But these days we've got no excuse because we've got artificial intelligence. If you see some of these latest videos there, you'll see how we can make our life easier than ever by just using something as simple as ChatGPT, even the free version. And try it, try it. Put those prompts into the AI, into ChatGPT. Don't just sit there and watch these videos, but actually take part, participate in it, and then think to yourself, oh, hold on a second, how can I make this better? How can I make this better? So that whenever you sit down and whenever you get a chance there, I'll bring Daniel on for a few minutes and then you can all ask him some questions. But think about it. Think about it in advance. Daniel is a proactive type of person. Doesn't mince his words. He says things exactly as they are. And this is a character and a personality type there that some people loathe. But some people think to themselves, hold on a second, this is a man that can get results. Might be confrontational, but he gets results. And if he gets results, and if he increases my bottom line, then yes, I'm going to help him. Okay? So think about it like that and try to have a mindset like this. Because, you all come from a similar background. We're all salespeople. Like even there, we become a salesperson when we're a young child in that push cart, in this pram or whatever there is. Our parents are wheeling us around. We can't walk yet. But we become salespeople from the moment that we learn how to point. Oh, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this bread roll, I want this, this to eat, I want this, I want something else, da 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 da. And then if I don't get it, boom, waterworks. Still works, in later years. Trust me, there. Some people are experts at this, but that's what it's all about. It's all about just creating this spark, and that's what I need to see. I need to see this ability and this willingness to be able to test and test and test and test and test and test again. Okay, test until you're so sick of it that you have no idea. But use those examples. Like Akila has given you their examples there from last week's Zoom class. There, I've given you examples there too for all of these wonderful coaches. For Jane from the legal services, from Jeff from the business coaching, from Robert from the business coaching, from all of those people. Before I can let you loose on their campaigns, then you've really got to come up to me with something like that I can believe in. Because it's not enough to just say, oh, I've got an apprentice and his name is Matthew. I've got an apprentice and his name is Patrick. And I let you loose on their campaigns and then nothing happens. Because the first thing that they're going to ask me is, okay, well, show me some of the test campaigns. I understand that you guys don't have the budget to launch these campaigns for yourself, but show me the test campaigns. Show me the test creatives. Show me the test copy. And remember, this might have been generated by the AI. But what we've done is we've turned it from that vanilla sponge cake, that tasteless, bland sponge cake, into something really, really nice. Do the same with all of those ads there, those questions there that Joe and Akila are teaching you how to extract from the AI. But do it. Be proactive. Okay? Be proactive, and I promise you this, you will be more successful than you ever imagined possible. Then you get a chance to write your own check, which is very nice. And remember, it doesn't really matter. Whatever the style is, get yourself inside the head of the prospect. It's the same there when we were working on the Julian Lennon campaign. What we realized was there that Julian didn't want to be Julian. He wanted to be his father, John. So he wanted to put himself into the cartoon meme of his father, John Lennon. And that became very, very, very clear from a very, very, very early stage. And once you're willing to work with him from that persona, and once you're willing to put together the ads from the persona of Julian Lennon being, as his famous father, John Lennon, then it all starts to work. Then it all starts to gel and it all starts to come together. But remember, you do have to bring it to that point. Okay? So put yourselves inside the mind of this person. So, for example, if we're doing these test campaigns for Aquila, if we're doing them for Jeff, if we're doing them for Robert, if we're doing them for Professor Christian, if we're doing them for Julian, if we're doing them for anybody else there that we're working with, if we're doing them for Marjana, the certified translation coach, if we're doing them for any of these people, what you've got to do is you've got to put yourself into the mind of that person and then ask that person for 10, 15 minutes of their valuable time. Ask them questions, but then go away and do your research, do your homework in advance. Don't come to them and just say, oh, can I be an apprentice in your company? Do. I promise you this. I promise you the sun, the sea, the moon, the earth, the stars. No, 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 no. Do the homework in advance. And whenever they see this homework, whenever they see this research, then they're sort of like invested. And then they sort of think, wow, look at this. You know, these people have taken the time to do all of this phenomenal research into my campaign. So what do I think? Is it worth taking these people on as an apprentice for maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks? Then working with them, giving them a minimal amount of budget, and then saying, okay, right, well, here you go. I've given you all of my insights, all of the stuff that's within my head. There, you've asked me all of these thought-provoking questions generated by the AI. And then we've taken them out there and we produce some results. And whenever we produce some results, then the people then can think, well, hold on a second, they've got some fantastic results. And then they can think, well, hold on a second, you're starting to make my business some money. So I've given you $500 advertising budget and you've turned this into $600, $650. So you know what? Here you go. Here's $75 for you from the profit. And then how about this? How about you start work for me there at the start of next week, the start of their next month, whatever. And you see, you've done the research, you've done those things, and you've put into practice all of these strategies there that the three of us are teaching you. Okay? But success leaves clues, people. And you really, really got to put in the homework. Yeah? It's not enough to just say, oh, if it doesn't work out, I'll do something else. No, 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 no. No. Like Aquila gave you some very, very, very thought-provoking questions there last week. Like, Patrick, how much time have you set aside to study this? How much time have you set aside? Have you defined on your calendar for this full stack media buying experience? Not just for the lessons there, the lessons with Joe, the lessons with Aquila, the lessons with me, but also there for putting this into practice, for practicing and practicing and practicing. Because imagine, let's say that you're a soccer player, or imagine that you're a rugby player, and you're trying to compete at the top end of the league. And you want to be one day somebody like Cristiano Ronaldo, somebody like Sir David Beckham. Like those people have put in thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of practice. Like it all says the journey of 1,000 steps. So how many hours of practicing have you put in with regard to the full stack media buying? And it has to be something, it is very, very interesting. And it's the pathway to, believe you me, incredible, incredible riches. Yeah, you know, there you can put it there like as either as a remote contractor or as a remote employee. Okay. And then, you know, you can after a while, once you're good enough, you can name your own price. And that will come to you because the people are just looking and they're just thinking, wow, hold on a second, he did this for Wrigley. It's a chewing gum. Oh, he did this campaign for Tetley. Tetley is it's a tea bag company. Or he did this campaign for Spar and Eurospar and BWG. This is a convenience store in Europe. He did this campaign for the truck drivers in North America, in the United States and Canada. He did this campaign for da 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 da, and this campaign was successful. This campaign was very successful. This campaign was incredibly successful. And some of the campaigns were, let's say, sometimes even unsuccessful. Like, for example, whenever we took Julian's page and we took it from almost 1 million followers and we lost him, what was it, like almost 300,000 followers in the space of 24 hours just by changing his campaign from this site is not a John Lennon site. This site is not a Beatles site. This site is a Julian Lennon site. And we actually did a good thing because we lost him perhaps almost 300,000 followers, 300,000 subscribers. But that's a good thing. And we took the technology at that time and we took it to a new level, a new limit. Like there, I'll talk to you in some of the videos about the YouTube ads campaign. At that time, there was a very successful one for Mentos, and it featured a bear. It was set in Canada, da 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 da, and then there was a lot of snow, and then the bear was out there and had a problem with halitosis, with bad breath, whatever, and it took some of these mints, and then it came out of the screen. We just did this with overlays, etc., and it appeared to breathe beyond the YouTube screen parameters. This is when YouTube was going through its transition era from Tinder, which is what it was, it's the equivalent of Tinder in 2006, and then bringing it all the way across then to this platform that is now the second largest social media platform and the second largest search engine on the internet. And what we did was we did something very similar for Julian, where we had him as John Lennon, dressed as John Lennon, let's say. It was John Lennon. There was the caricature of John Lennon. And we took it there where the character would walk up to the screen. We had to do this all painfully in Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. Oh my goodness, it was the designers killed me every time we had to change something like this. But the character walked up to the screen, cartoon character, knocked, and it sounded like he was tapping on glass. And then he eventually knocked so loudly that the glass broke. So then the caricature of John, in brackets, Julian Lennon, would come out and would dangle its little cartoon legs over the borders of the screen. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. We did all of this through a technology called Flash. And then we took it through to its bigger brother called Flex, Flex. And you probably know about some of these things, the people from the QA backgrounds. But it was hard and it was painstaking, and the problem was it wouldn't work. The ad wouldn't work on the iPhones because Steve Jobs at that time said no to Adobe because of security concerns. It wasn't due to the brilliance of their platforms and stuff, but it was a really really eye-catching ad. And I think I've got it somewhere there in the servers. There are some of the vaults, but some of the campaigns have been wow, amazing. Like the ones for Glenfiddich. This is a brand of whiskey and alcohol from Scotland, from the coast of Scotland, and it was all focusing on this one day you will. People sailing a yacht, people climbing a mountain, people going across the Sahara Desert, and it was inspirational, and it was thought provoking. Yeah, but there were so many campaigns there that went a little bit wrong. Like for example, the one with Purina. There, I was convinced it was going to be for the dog, and it was for the Siamese cat. I don't like cats. I'll tell you that plain and simply. I don't like cats. Cats love me, but I do not like cats. So there are some there that go, let's say, a little bit wrong. But what we do is we just apply the strategies again and again. We test and we test and we test and we test again. And whenever we're sick of testing, go away, have a break, have a cup of tea, have a cup of coffee, and then think then to yourself how you could make this even better. Because that's what I do before I launch any campaign. There, I always go away and I always think about it. There, usually like maybe even sleep over it, and then I think to myself, okay, well, is there anything I would change? Is there anything that my gut tells me that I'm unhappy about? And if there is, change it. Okay. Anyway, thank you for listening to my mutterings, my ramblings. But as I said, I'll try to set up this meeting there with Daniel over these next 2 weeks. There, whenever he's in Poland, there with his two kids, and then I'll bring him along and I'll invite him along for a couple of minutes then to talk with all of you lovely media buyers. Okay. Yep. But remember, all about the practice. Practice, practice, practice. Test, test, test. Test again. Take your own initiative. Don't wait for it to be handed to you in a silver platter. Yeah. Have this positive mindset and then be willing to go out there and to embrace it. Okay. Thanks for watching. This is me, as always, saying peace out. Bye for now. And I will see you in the next video. Okay. Bye bye.